Hey guys, I have got a new video for you today, and I'm really excited to talk about this subject with you. I actually haven't seen it come up in the comment section before, and I'm kind of surprised by that because this is something I think that probably everybody has experienced after leaving narcissistic abuse to some capacity. So after you've finished watching the video, I want you to go ahead and jump into the comments section and let me know what your experience and what your thoughts are on this topic. And the topic is how we kind of obsess and get really sucked into explaining narcissistic abuse and the abuse that we went through to others. Right when we leave the abuse or as we're in the process of leaving it. It's something that we tend to talk about a lot, and not just talk about, but actually we are convincing others, or we are attempting to convince others of what we went through. We really try to shine a light on that to close friends and family. And I want to explore that and dive into that in this video. My name is Amy, and this is Narcaway. My channel is devoted to educating, supporting, and encouraging victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Okay, so quick note, I got a new phone. This is the first video I am making with this phone, so I'm not really sure how it's going to come out. I have not done a test run, and I'm just gonna go for it. So if there's anything glitchy about this video or different than my usual format, that's why, and I'll fine tune it in the next video. But let's just get right into the topic here. Did you find after you left your narcissistic relationship that you were trying to convince others that you were actually in a narcissistic relationship? Were you trying to convince them that your ex or soon-to-be ex is or was a narcissist? I know I found myself in that spot. I know that there were a couple of people who were my close friends at that time that I could not stop talking to them about this topic. And the more I learned through YouTube and through websites and through my own research, the more I felt I needed to share it with somebody else. And, you know, reflecting on it now that I'm past all of that turmoil of the breakup and understanding what narcissism is, I look back and I can see how that was possibly exhausting for the people that I was laying that on. It's a lot of information. It's very heavy. It's very serious. And if you haven't been through it, you can't understand it. It's very hard to wrap your head around and really understand what narcissism is, what narcissistic abuse is. So I want to talk about why you might do that, why you found yourself doing that. And I'm just going to speak from my own experience and from what I have discovered from reflecting on my past. And I think the number one thing for me was I was looking for validation. I was so invalidated in my relationship and by my narcissistic ex that I was searching, I was seeking for validation from somebody who was close to me, that I felt if I just showed them what I learned, if I could just portray what I had gone through, then they would validate me and my feelings and my suspicions that I had from this new information that I was overwhelmed with. When you are consistently and constantly invalidated, you lose your confidence. You lose your peace of mind. You lose a piece of yourself that you are searching to regain. And by sharing the information that you are learning, and when those dots are starting to connect for you, it becomes very obvious. So what you may find yourself doing is trying to make that obvious to someone else for that sense of validation. Another thing is, in my case, I was simply looking for support. I was in such a crazy, upended time of my life. I didn't know if I was making the right decision. I didn't know if my thoughts were justified. I didn't know what was going on and what was going to happen, and I was scared and I was uneasy and I was jumping into this new territory. So I was really just reaching out for support. I wanted my friends to say, Amy, it's okay. We're here for you. I hear what you're saying, and I love you and I support you, and I'm going to be here for you. And, I did get that from a few people, and that I will cherish forever. Those people are still my friends. But you know what? There were a few people I didn't get that from. They thought maybe I was being selfish, which I was at the time. I will admit that I was very consumed by this whole process. So I did take on this selfish persona for a time being while I was processing all this information about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. There was a selfish time there. And my true friends who knew me and who knew me before knew I was just going through something, and I was just needing some extra support at that time in my life. For the friends that thought I was being selfish and chose to walk away from me at that time, well, you know what? That's a blessing in disguise, because those weren't my true, real friends. And to be honest, I don't want them in my life anymore. So they showed true colors that did me a favor in the long run, even though at the time it was very hard, because really what I was doing was looking for support. I needed a shoulder to lean on. I needed an arm around me. I just needed an ear to listen to me so I could get it out. Because the thing is, when you learn about narcissism and you're trying to understand it, and this goes for anything really, not just narcissism or narcissistic abuse, but when you talk it out, it helps to solidify it in your brain. It helps you to make sense of it. You can kind of organize your thoughts verbally. And when you say things out loud, you might be like, yeah, that makes sense. Or, oh, wait, no, that I'm going to, abandon that thought process because that doesn't make any sense. So, the first thing is you're looking for validation. The second thing is you're looking for support. And then the third thing you're looking for is justification that you're making the right decision. If you're the one that has chosen to leave the narcissistic relationship, which, let's face it, whether you believe this or not, you're the one that makes the ultimate decision to leave, even if they have discarded you. Because when they have discarded you, if you're sitting around waiting for them to call you and to hoover you and to come back to you, then you're still in that relationship. You're still in that cycle. If they have discarded you, whether that's by a silent treatment or an actual breakup, or they're cheating on you, or they're just disappearing and disengaging from the relationship, you can sit there in limbo and let them come and go as they please, or you can take the bull by the horns and go no contact. Or if you can't go no contact, you can go gray rock. But either way, you're putting an end to the relationship and the games. That's you taking control, and that is you making the decision to leave them. By making a decision to stop taking their abuse, to stop letting them abuse you, that is you putting your foot down and you putting an end to the relationship. And ultimately, that's you discarding them. And you can find yourself very confused when you're put in that situation, because they may be trying to hoover you. And you have to be the one to say, no, I'm not taking you back. That was the last straw. We are done. I am done. I'm not going through this cycle, these games, this mind effery again. So when you are talking to others, a lot of the time you're seeking that justification that, yes, you have made the right decision. You were in a toxic relationship. You had no choice but to go to this extreme to get healthy again. I support you. I validate you. I justify what you have done. So those three things, they all meld together. They're all similar, but they're all a little bit different. Validation is looking to make sure your thoughts are correct or in line. Support is just looking for that hug, somebody to talk to, somebody to listen to. And justification is somebody approving of what you have done. And to get all of those three things, you can't do that in silence. You can't give that to yourself. To some extent you can, but from an outside source, that goes so much further, especially if it's a trusted, respected person of value to me, to you, to anyone. If that person is held in high regard to you, then that validation and support and justification from them will actually help you stay on the right track to not be hoovered, to not go back to that abuse cycle, to not fall into the trap of the narcissist sucking you back in over and over and over again. Even if you think the narcissist has changed and you think it's going to be different this time, that person of support that you have confided in for maybe weeks, maybe months, maybe years, they're going to stand up and advocate for you now, because if they've listened, if they're a true friend, they're going to stand up and say, listen, don't go back. You know what's waiting on the other side. They're going to be that voice of reason for you. And so you need that. I think that that's very important in your healing process. So I am a complete supporter of you explaining to others what you've gone through. I don't think that you should keep quiet. Mind you, you need to pick and choose who and when you're going to share this with. I don't think that you should talk to every Joe Blow you pass on the street, or, you know, your coworkers or distant cousins necessarily about what you've gone through. You do have to keep some element of privacy. And, you know, that's just a general, you know, you want to do that in everyday life anyway. You don't want to share everything with everybody. But when you have somebody that you trust, somebody that you're close to, one or two or even three people, go ahead and share, as long as they let you and they're willing and you're not overstepping on their boundaries. If they're going to be a support person for you, share, let them support you. You're going to need that to get through this. So guys, I want to know what you think on this. Did you go through this? How did you handle it? Did you overshare? Did you not share enough? Where did you land? And what are your opinions on trying to convince others that you are in a narcissistic relationship? Not trying to make them believe something that they don't believe, but giving them all the facts that you have now discovered. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Guys, thanks for watching. I know it's been a while since I've made videos. I've been terribly busy, but I'm gonna get back at it and give you your weekly videos that I know that you want and that you need. I love you all. Thanks for watching.